In the academic world, when we refer to another one's work, we are told we must cite our sources at all times, and not just any old way, but using formal and accepted methods such as MLA and APA style for, quote, maximum of precision. And that's according to the official APA website. Let's take a look briefly at what this means. Using either MLA or APA, you must double space your text, have proper font, margins, and headings. There are also explicitly defined differences between each style. You need to take a close look at order and structure. For example, in MLA, when you cite a magazine article, you write the day, month, and year of publication, followed by a colon, and then page numbers. In APA, you have volume number, followed by issue number in parentheses, followed by a comma. Why so particular? Who are we trying to impress with all this fancy syntax? No, really, shouldn't that be left to computer scientists? Well, writing professor Joseph Harris said students need to learn a new language in order to succeed in the university. Otherwise, we may feel like foreigners in a strange new country. In learning this new language, we must learn the proper conventions of how professionals speak. Part of this means using an accepted standard for citation, even though at times it may seem a bit too particular. After all, we want to join the academic conversation, and we want to be taken seriously. Many students understandably have a hard time getting used to these standards as is, and now, with the rise of digital media, it is becoming even more difficult to keep track of sources. As the internet expands and affects people's lives in a multitude of ways, it starts gaining respect as a legitimate place for meaningful conversation or academic discourse. However, the web is a lot messier to deal with than standard print. You know, there was a time when life was simple. If you wanted to learn more about something, you would go pick up a book, and books are nicely organized. You find editor information, year of publication. You start with a table of contents and end with an index. The references are also easily recognizable. But probably most of all, books are numbered neatly. The higher the page number, the further along you were in the reading. It must be the case, then, that books deserve the utmost credibility in an academic community. Looking to today, the web is different. The hyperlink connects web pages together, and the user decides which links they want to visit. There are no page numbers to guide you where to go next. Instead, you have a home page with many possible openings and exits. In standard print, authors built their arguments through linear, clear-cut structure. And that's how they also built their credibility. In the online world, authors build their credibility in another whole new way. They build their reputation through the websites that they link to, and also the websites that link back to them. For example, Google uses an advanced formula for determining how relevant a website is. The link structure of a website becomes extremely important. Something considered is whether an online text is within a good neighborhood of other links. Ultimately, the most relevant sites end up at the top of search results and more people access them. The web is blurring all sorts of boundaries. Online, people are more likely to use an image, a song, or a video to get their message across. Online writers want to engage their audience in the most relevant way possible. Online conversation includes text that has many voices speaking at once. Research professor Barbara Warnick referred to this as a sort of carnival. Readers are invited to be active participants in the conversation. When people are crisscrossing information back and forth, it's sometimes hard to keep track of who started what. And many times online, there isn't even an author published. And to complicate things even more, anyone can publish information. I could make a website and you could make a website, whether we know what we are talking about or not. Early scholars basically said, no, the internet is not a good source for serious information. These scholars obviously didn't have the foresight to see the web as we know it today. Educator Howard Rheingold said that the 21st century calls for new literacy skills, one of which is critical consumption, or being able to tell good sources from not so good sources. One way to do this is to look at the author's ethos or reputation. In her dissertation, Alison Warner urges us to think of online writing as a new genre, which is different from old-fashioned print-based media. As such, she put forth new criteria for establishing the scholarly nature of online sources. But really, print and web-based text have the same goal in mind, and that is to engage readers. They just do it in different ways. We need to think beyond what originally counted as respectable writing and start thinking about it in terms of today's new technology.